Let's get it together. All right, time now is 6:12. Thank you, Amity Idrisi, and as well as Jackie, our producer, for that deal there. This morning in your Fix Your Credit segment, we're talking about consumer rights within the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Joining us this morning is Anselmo Moreno. He is here to tell us what bill collectors can do and, more importantly, what they can't do. So, where do we start? I hear a lot of people who say they almost feel like harassed by bill collectors who call day in, day out several times a day. So what are the laws here? What can and can't they do?
You know, there's a federal act in place that helps protect consumers from bill collectors. And so what happens is this particular law governs the bill collectors on when they can and what they can and cannot do, when they can and cannot call, who they can and cannot call. And so it's very important for consumers to be aware of this particular law.
Okay, so if an account is only, and I've heard a lot of people tell me this as a myth, but I'm trying to figure out if this is a myth or fact here. If an account is overdue, maybe for 7 years, after 7 years, a lot of people think, it goes away, you don't have to pay it back. Truth or false?
Well, you know, that's kitchen fodder that you hear oftentimes within family members, where it says that an account, the rule of 7 years says that an account can only be on the credit report for 7 years. And so what happens is people become under the impression that an account is only collectible for 7 years, when the truth of the matter is that that's not correct. An account will always be collectible, except that bill collectors run out of tools to collect it with. So one of the tools that they use to collect it is credit reporting, and that expires after 7 years. After that point, they really don't have any tools to collect, so the accounts typically don't get paid. However, they are still owed.
As a credit counselor, do you run into that often?
Often, very often, yes.
A lot of people under that impression. All right, here's another one. A bill collector called my neighbor. Not my neighbor. Let me actually correct that. A bill collector did not call my neighbor. This is written into us. If a bill collector calls your neighbors, is that okay? Can they actually do that?
Yes, they can. There's a very fine lines into which they can call your neighbors. In the bill collection industry, they call that a block party, where they call your neighbors and get them involved in not directly, but indirectly. So what would happen is that a bill collector can call and just say, hey, can you deliver a note to Susie and Joe, you know, and just have them give me a call at this number. But they can't divulge any particular information regarding the nature of the call. So they can't tell them why they're calling, or can you also tell them to pay their bills, you know. So they can't really become too involved, but they do call, and they'll call several neighbors, and then you have 3 or 4 neighbors coming at your door saying, hey, I've been getting this call from this person asking to call you. And then that's when, you know, there's an embarrassment factor coming in. And so there's a very fine line into what they can and cannot say, but that is a very sneaky tactic, and it is used often.
And they can say we are debt collectors. I mean, they cannot say that. So how do they identify? Like, what's the message that they would send to the neighbor? They would just say, tell them to call Bill back or something like that?
Yeah, hey, listen, I haven't been able to get a hold of them in a very long time. Can you please give them my number? And sometimes some neighbors will be very, they'll pry into it, and so they'll say, well, you know what, this is a very private business matter. We can't divulge any more information. But at that point, you know, it's given away. So you'll know that that's what it is.
Had no idea. Well, Anselmo Moreno is from the Innovative Credit Solutions. It's over there on District Boulevard. You can catch them at the number on your screen. It is 661-377-1861. They're over there in Suite 102. So give them a call, or give Richard. You probably have seen Richard come around every now and then to visit our show. Both of them are available there to help you out.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being with us, John.